Okay, so let's talk about all the things that you can do with a single marketing newsletter, and specifically we've got 31 different ideas to share with you. We've broken this into a couple different sections. We're going to talk about strategies for your print newsletter, strategies for your digital newsletter, and also what we call a content remix. But we're going to start off with the print section. So once you have your printed newsletter in hand, what are all of the different things that you can do with it to get it in front of as many people as possible through as many media channels as possible? So number one in the print section is, of course, the U.S. mail. This is the obvious one, and we're not going to spend too much time talking about it. But if you leave the bottom section of your final page as an area to mail your newsletter, you're going to fold it in half, add your address label, add your postage, and go ahead and drop that in the U.S. mail. We will talk in the final set of the course about kind of the back office mechanics of managing your database and making this easy. But as far as a strategy, putting it out in the U.S. mail is fairly self-explanatory. Okay, number two is handing them out at local health fairs. And the thing to realize about that is it doesn't always have to be the current month's issue. And so if you have 10 left over from June and you have 15 from July and 3 from August, all of those provide great tools to hand out at health fairs where you have a booth or you've been invited to speak. Just make sure it's really clear for people how they get additional copies if they like that initial copy. So idea number two is bringing any of your older issues to health fairs with you to pass out. All right, idea number three is to hand these out at speaking engagements where you've been invited to speak. This is actually a great thing to put on the seats before you even come up to the podium. So if you arrive early and you're preparing the room, put one of your newsletters on each of the seats. Definitely include information for how they can contact you if they want to receive additional copies. But it's going to be a great handout that they can take away from the health fair. Some people may even not have brought a piece of paper to write on for their seminar. You could even give them a pen, and at the beginning of your talk you could suggest that they take notes in here. You could also just offer an additional blank sheet of paper here on the inside, so you're going to put them out on the seats with a pen and a blank sheet of paper, and gives them a chance to take notes during your presentation. So idea number three is bring them with you to all speaking engagements. Okay, idea number four is to give a stack of newsletters to any referring ENTs or family physicians that you collaborate with. And again, it doesn't need to be the current issue of the newsletter, and you don't need to be running them brand new copies every month. But it's actually a great way to keep in touch with your referring ENTs, and it gives you a reason to contact them every month. So, taking 8 to 10 of these, they probably don't need more than that, but take 8 to 10 of these, put them in an envelope with a little hand note to each of your key referring physicians, and say, here's the latest copy of our newsletter. Go ahead and provide it to any patients that you think it would be suitable for. And it's a great way for you to keep in touch with them in a very non-salesy way. All right, number five is to make sure that you send home a copy of your print newsletter with any new patients. And again, this almost seems too obvious to mention, but a lot of people don't do it. So whatever handouts you have prepared that go along with that first visit, go ahead and add these to those packets so they're not accidentally forgotten. And you can even verbally ask the patient at that time if they have your permission to add them to the subscriber list so that they can keep receiving future issues. Okay, number six is to send a physical newsletter with a physical appointment confirmation. And again, if they've made an appointment, only 1 to 2 days in advance, you're not able to do this. But if they've made an appointment 2 weeks in advance and there's some other new patient paperwork that you're going to send them anyway, go ahead and send the newsletter along with the confirmation in that physical packet. And it'll be one additional thing that they receive and give them a chance to kind of get to know you and get some additional quality information before they even come in for the first time. Okay, number 7 is an idea for those of you who have windows that face a public area, so that when you're closed, people can still see into your office. And so the concept is to actually tape the newsletter to your exterior windows so that it can be read by people who are passing by in the evenings or weekends or other times that you're closed. So you're going to want to tape it in your window. You're going to need 2 copies of it. So you'll tape it once with this side out and once with this side out. And that way they can actually read all 4 pages through the glass from your exterior entrance. Okay, idea number 8 is to post these on community bulletin boards. And this is the type of thing where you just want to keep a couple of these in the car with you or give them to some family members or some staff members. I know in our area we have a very active local community college, and there's all sorts of flyers posted at the community college. There's also a lot of things posted at the rec centers and at the senior centers. So keep your eye out for some of these community bulletin boards. Oftentimes inside Starbucks usually has a community bulletin board. Smaller coffee shops will offer them as well. Just ask the owner's permission if you can post a newsletter. Sometimes you may want to fold it a little bit and tack it up with a thumbnail. And this is also one of those places where you can make those little fringe cuts where people can tear off a piece. So the newsletter may not be the perfect thing to put on the community bulletin board, but I just wanted to get you thinking about that as an additional channel to reach people throughout the community. So best thing to do that is just keep some tape, some tacks, and some newsletters in your car so that when you have that opportunity, you can just run and grab one and tack it up. Okay, idea number 9 is similar to number 8. It's the idea of actually putting them in flyer holders at local businesses. I know in our area there's an indoor sports arena that has actual little holders where there's flyers from a dentist and flyers from a preschool and flyers from a variety of other businesses. And so keep your eye out for those. Go ask the owner, what does it take? Can I bring you some new copies every month or 2 to replenish the supply? And then often what you want to do is attach the final copy actually to the wall. So you want to stick it inside the container because that way nobody can take the last one. And people who are just browsing on the wall, like that last one, will always be stuck inside the holder so that people will see it even if they're not able to take the last one.